Okay, hi, I'm Mac. Once again, I have come to bring you guys news of Pepper Ann. They're not really news, and you might think, why does he keep talking about Pepper Ann all this time? And to that, I would say, shut up. There's one episode in like season 4 or whatever. Aunt Janie, okay, she's basically her character is that she's a hippie, but she also used to be in the Peace Corps or whatever. She's basically like the stereotypical, I like to eat organically. I like peace and love and whatever. I don't like violence and nonsense. Blah 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 blah. Blah. It's that kind of activist, but like the 2000 version where they're slightly less obnoxious than the activists we have now. There's an episode with violent video games, and it's like she wants to prove that violent video games are bad. And my thinking is, but then she gets addicted to the video game herself. So my thinking is, okay, so they're actually going to do a good message where it's not that the violent video games are the problem, but like they're going to be like, oh, violent video games aren't actually that bad. But no, they completely go with that. She starts playing the game, then she gets really militant and violent in real life, and then by the end of the episode, they double down on it, and they're like, man, look at how I was affected by playing violent video games. That's why we need to ban them and why they're terrible for people. And I'm just thinking, are you kidding? Really? I thought you were going to go in a completely different direction than that. That was like the perfect setup for showing that, hey, maybe extremism is never bad, but you just double down on the extremism by the end of the episode. And then I don't know. I just remember not liking that one very much. They have a different episode though that was really good about like how there's like these group of executives and they keep changing a show that Moose really likes, but she doesn't like that they changed it from a action hero like Sam, like, think about what Samus is in the video games, and they changed it to like a vapid bimbo who likes shopping and like is obsessed with makeup. So like incredibly sexist, but also it's like, I can relate to this. They keep doing stuff like that to stuff I like, and then they keep changing it, and then they just cancel altogether. And the lesson you learn is that adaptations suck, and it's like, I relate to this. I relate to this on a spiritual level.
I mean,
yeah. You might think that I keep talking about how episodes of Pepper Ann that I don't like, that I don't enjoy it.
Yeah,
not
so
so.
You're not doing a very good job of selling this show. I certainly don't want to watch it now.
Not so. It's just easier to talk about the parts that I didn't like out of the 65 total parts.
Well, stay
tuned.
It's
actually really good overall.
Stay tuned for the Pepper Ann episode when we'll actually finally do a formal review of the show, if I ever get around to watching it.
You might not.
I don't really want to.
I will say there's one episode that actually had like a good message. She finds out she's like 1/16th Indian, Native American, something, one of the tribes. I don't remember the name.
Cherokee.
She finds out she's 1/16th that, and they're like doing a culture project. So she's like, oh, she gets really enthusiastic about that. But because all of her knowledge comes from stereotypes, she does stuff that is acknowledged as offensive in universe. And then by the end, like when she actually takes time to sit down with them after apologizing, it explains that like it came from a good place and she was just enthusiastic, but she needs to actually take the time to learn about it. And then they actually teach her about it. And it's like, see, I can appreciate that message.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
She was being rude about it. Like, it's like, I don't have a problem with stereotypes because they exist for a reason. Everyone fits into some stereotype somewhere. There's no reason to be offended by it. But like when you're going around shoving it in people's faces and then like being like way over the top, then it can get kind of annoying. And I can appreciate when it's like, okay, knock it off. That's just rude. I mean, it's like I don't know. I'm trying to think of any stereotypes though that like would have. Wait, actually, no. If I get into that too much, it'll reveal information about me. Never mind.
What stereotypes that would offend you?
Yeah, because honestly, I can't think of if somebody was doing a stereotype to me. I don't think it would bother me that much because I can't think of any that would matter anyways. But also in general, I don't think there's any reason to get bothered by it.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I can't tell other people what to be bothered by. That's kind of the stance I take.
Well, I don't know.
As long as they're not like...
There are definitely some things you shouldn't be bothered by.
I don't know. I feel like that's always a slippery slope. That's like a hard one to talk about because it's like...
I don't know. It
I
can
can't tell
be a
other
slippery
people...
slope, but there is such a thing as way too sensitive.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't agree with you. I wouldn't disagree. I guess I'll put it this way. Like, I definitely believe that thick skin is in general probably better. Having thick skin to those kind of things, but at the same time, I'm not going to tell someone else what to be offended by. So if someone is offended by something, like I'll respect it and not do that thing. But like, I guess let's put it this way: there's respectful ways to be offended.
I guess, but no one knows how to do it these days, at all.
Yeah, no one does. Let's get off this topic.
Look, my life philosophy: you do you, and I'll do me, and we won't do each other. That's my life philosophy.
Let's move on.
You just leave me alone. You could do whatever the hell you want over there. As long as you leave me out of it, I don't care. But as soon as it starts affecting what I'm doing, that's when I have a problem with it, and vice versa. I'm going to stay over in my corner and leave you to do whatever you want, as long as you don't come over and tell me why what I'm doing is bad. I don't want to hear that some cartoon from the 80s is racist because they didn't have enough black people or something. It's like, just, no.
I feel like I feel like 80s cartoons actually had pretty diverse casts in general.
They did!
Most of them. I'm sure there are definitely examples.
People, I've mentioned it before, but they always act like that diversity didn't exist until 2016, and then they came along to fix it. And it's like, have you seen the stuff from the 80s and 90s? It's casually diverse. They just have the characters, and they don't say a word about it, as it should be. You ever seen Recess? 2 girls, a black kid, a fat kid, and they all hang out, and nobody ever mentions it, and they all compliment each other and are good friends. And the fact that they're anything doesn't ever come up.
Huh.
It's like, that's what shows used to do. It's like, we poke fun at the whole idea where it's like, like Captain Planet, they have like the white kid, the girl, the black kid, the Indian kid. It's like, we have to have one of each. But it's like, I mean, they never actually brought up the fact that they were all those different races. They just were. And that was just part of their person. And no one made a deal of it. That's what it should be. The fact that you are a certain thing, it's not, the fact that you're black or the fact that you're a woman or the fact that you're gay should not be the only part of your character. That should be one of many parts. If that's the only thing you have about your identity, then you need to work on yourself, because it's like you're more than just the one thing.
Huh.
Or at least you should be.
Well, we had a topic lined up for today, but it sounds like now we're doing the diversity podcast. So,
we are? I was fine talking about the original topic.
Well, I was too, but it sounds like we're talking diversity now. So let's keep going on diversity.
I mean, okay.
That was a joke. Let's not talk about this anymore. It's too political.
No, it's not.
What do you mean?
It's not too political. These are our opinions.
No, I
share them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really have much opinions. I don't have any more opinions on this right now.
Oh, I do, but I feel like that would start to disbalance this because you wouldn't be able to respond.
So what are we talking about this time? What are we talking
first
about?
First, I have to take a sip of my Diet Dr. Pepper.
I'm just drinking water, as always.
Delicious.
All right. So do you want to introduce the topic or should I?
You picked the topic.
Yes,
this
it was
time.
technically my idea. So yeah, we're talking about toys.
Yes, and the way that they've been racially diverse since the 1960s, and how we can better approach.
Absolutely. I had every
in
color
all honesty,
of Power Ranger.
I don't
when I was a
mind
kid.
talking about it, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to because I hate people.
Yeah, no, I don't mind
who talk about this sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind talking about it either. Honestly, if we ever wanted to have an episode about it, like I wouldn't be necessarily opposed.
Yeah,
I just
maybe
know that
a different day, but I mean, today it's off topic because we have a different topic.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was trying to say. It's like I'm not against talking about it, but it'll definitely fill up our entire time slot. So
yeah.
So let's talk about our fun topic.
I have a lot of opinions about basically everything.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sure
the thing.
everyone does if they really dive deep down.
Yeah, I know. It's just I only have strong opinions.
Well, it's like everyone tries to say they're neutral on things, but if you really get down to it, everyone feels some way about everything. Everyone feels something.
I'm trying to think of anything that I'm actually neutral on.
I'm neutral on. I'm trying to think of just like some innocuous food, but it's like, no, actually, like when I think of food, I either like it or I don't for most things. Yeah. I can't really be neutral.
I like most food.
Yeah, I do. There are a few I don't. Haven't found many yet, but there are a few.
Yeah.
Like
all I know is that I have very, you know this to be true. I don't have like middling. I only have strong opinions, whether they be negative or positive. But if you get me talking about anything, I can go off on it for a long time.
Yes, that's been demonstrated.
Yeah. I think just last week, The Dark Knight.
Yeah. So yeah, we're talking about toys, specifically nostalgic toys that were important to us growing up, right?
I mean, sure.
I guess. Yeah, we'll just see where this goes.
Lawn darts?
Lawn darts, yeah. Fun for the whole family. What was it?
Did you, though?
Did I have them? No, I didn't. And if
Well,
I
they
did,
were banned by that point, but some people had them, I feel.
yeah, I'm sure they're still around. And I mean, they made a version of them that didn't have a massive spike on the front.
Well, yeah, but those aren't real lawn darts.
But it's like I know that common sense wasn't invented until the '90s, but come on, even that, like seriously.
Yeah, I know. It's like, hey guys, here's an idea. What if we have a giant metal spike and we throw it at people?
Well, it's a weighted metal spike. You know, you weren't supposed to throw it at people, but if you're throwing it in an open yard,
No, you
things
do
just.
throw it at people because you set up your targets on opposite sides.
Oh, is that how that works? I thought it was just you
Yes.
had a I thought you just had a
Why
target
do you
out.
think so many people got hit by them?
Are you sure you're not? I just thought it was like. Are you sure you're not thinking like cornhole or something? That's how you play
No,
cornhole.
no. This is how yard darts were played.
Oh, I mean, I guess that's how you play horseshoes too. Which, in retrospect, like that doesn't sound a whole lot safer, but somehow there's less
Well,
horseshoe-related accidents.
because horseshoe is it's a not a spike.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's a heavy metal object that you're chucking.
Not okay. It's not nearly as heavy,
Yeah,
and it's smaller, and it's a blunt object. So even if it hits you, it's probably just gonna hurt.
yeah,
And there's also a wooden backboard, and there's like and you're aiming for a thing low to the ground.
yeah.
You
That's
don't try
true.
to throw it up as high as you can
Yeah, I mean,
at other
yeah.
people.
My understanding of long darts was you had a target out in front of you and you took turns throwing at it. But I figured, dogs tend to run around yards, small children tend to run around yards. It was inevitable someone was going to take a long dart. Yeah,
Yeah, in fact, several people did, and that's why they got banned.
yeah. Lots of people died from. I don't know. Did anyone actually die from lawn darts? I don't. I'm
At
sure.
least 3 children.
Oh gosh, that's morbid. So let's talk about toys that aren't lawn darts. I am.
Yeah, hold
Futterman,
on.
by the
I'm
way.
trying to find. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm Mingus.
Yep. I'm the quiet
Welcome
one.
to here.
Welcome here. Welcome aboard.
Oh, I'm trying to find the name. It's not like I don't think it's not. It's actually completely safe. It just sounds like it shouldn't be safe.
What is this?
And
Another
I read
yard
about.
game?
I read it. No, it's another tool. It's another toy. I read about it in an XKCD strip.
Do you remember what kind of toy it was?
It was a science toy.
Oh,
You know,
like a chemistry
science
set?
toys are always that kind of like. I was watching the Distractable podcast. They had an episode about toys once, and they were talking about like some of the dangerous toy. Like there's this one toy guy who basically he was like a really good guy while he was alive, but he was growing up in like early 1900s, like mid 1900s. So back before safety regulations were totally a thing yet. Some of the toys that this guy made for children included a lead figure casting set. So not only is it lead, but it's molten lead that you cast into figures.
Oh,
A
dang.
glass blowing set. So blowing glass, a kid version of that.
Kids were just tougher back then, gotta say.
Well, I mean, I can kind of forgive him for the lead
Yeah,
one because they didn't know that lead was poisonous yet, but
Well, I mean,
not
it's
for the
molten
fact that
lead.
it's molten lead.
Yeah, no, that's not. That's yeah, that's an
Molten
issue.
and lead are two words that have no business being anywhere near toys.
Well, molten, I think, on its own doesn't belong near toys. Like
Yeah.
there was another incident. Like, do you remember that there was some like toy set that came out more recently, like early 2000s, late 90s. That was like you could like mold your own rubber, like you like pour like liquid plastic into molds.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean,
And I
I
feel
guess
like-
that's less bad.
Yeah, it's less bad. You don't have to get plastic as hot to melt it. So that was probably not as bad. And I think they actually came up with even a version of it that like that didn't involve heat. I don't know exactly. Let me look
I don't
this
know.
up.
We
It
all
was called, like,
played. We all
Creepy
played
Crawlies
with.
or something.
We all played with not that wax. We all did that thing. We'd try to get the molten wax to dry on our hands.
Oh yeah, well that's
What defines molten?
molten. I think it just means like melted. So molten, technically,
Liquefied by heat. So yes, molten wax. That is appropriate.
it is appropriate. It's just not.
But it's
molten
usually
wax
applied
is-
to material. Well, okay, it's technically correct, but people are going to look at you weird because it's usually applied to materials with a high melting point.
Yeah, say wax. Molten
So,
wax
like,
is really not
Glass,
bad.
metal, lava.
Yeah.
But like molten wax, I remember one time, you remember 5th grade camp?
Yeah, I hated 5th grade camp. It was awful.
You hated 5th grade camp?
I had I had a bad experience there. Well, first of all, it rained the entire weekend, and nobody gave us anywhere to like properly dry our clothes, so the entire cabin I was in smelled like mildew. It was
You
awful.
sure it rained? Because I don't. Oh yeah, I guess
It was
it
raining the
didn't rain
entire
that whole
weekend.
weekend. I had dry clothes the whole time
I don't know how. Like at least for a
because I
significant part
brought
of it.
lots of extra clothes.
Maybe it didn't rain the whole time, but like I didn't have a problem staying in dry clothes, but it was just like our clothes would get wet and then we would put them in our rooms and there wasn't really anywhere to properly hang them up and dry them, and also we were fifth graders, so we didn't really know that that was even something to think about. Our entire cabin smelled like mildew for the entire weekend. It was
Were we in the same cabin?
no, we weren't.
Yeah,
You and I
okay.
weren't. But yeah, it was awful.
No,
It
I
was
have pictures of
disgusting.
that.
Yeah.
No, that was the thing. Is like I had a disposable camera. Gosh, remember disposable cameras?
Yeah.
Who even uses those anymore?
I don't know.
No, but
Um,
like I straight up, I had a disposable camera for that trip, and I took a bunch of pictures, and then I had my mom was like, just give that to me to develop it, and then I can go develop those pictures for you. But she forgot to, and so I literally held on to that thing for over 10 years before I finally got the photos developed. I had that camera.
Oh,
I
that's
kept it
amazing.
safely locked away
I want to
until
see
I
those.
finally was able to get mom to take these, please, go develop them.
Yeah,
And I finally got my pictures.
before photo labs go completely extinct.
Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah, no, that
yeah, I guess it was raining for some. Here's the thing. I always bring the amount of clothes I'll need for the days plus 2 extra days worth of clothes and then an absurd number of extra socks.
well, yeah, no, I had
Anytime I go
plenty of-
anywhere.
I had plenty of clean clothes. That wasn't the issue. It was just that the clothes that we wore, and it wasn't just me. I mean, it was everyone in the cabin. We just either stuffed our clothes in a bag or just piled them on the floor, and they got mildewy and disgusting, and the entire cabin
See, I don't know why
reeked.
you do that. I hung mine up.
Well, we weren't. We were fifth graders. Most of us don't
Yes,
think
and
like
I
that.
hate, and I was a 5th grader who had grown up with a pathological aversion to water. I'm sure you remember that.
Yeah, I do remember that. That probably helped you in that case. But yeah, no, that wasn't even the incident that was like the worst. Like, oh man, let's dive into this actually. So there was I remember we had like different stations we walked to, right? Like, you remember that? Like, we'd have like there was like an archery one, there was a fishing
Yeah.
one. Well, this
There's
is
that
like
rock climbing tower thing.
yeah, there was the rock climbing.
Is
But
there
yeah,
a zip line at this one?
I don't think so. I
I
don't
know
remember.
that some of the middle school ones had zip lines, but did this one have a zip line?
I don't think so. I think I tried to. I don't know. I also didn't kind of just tried to not remember as much of this as possible because it was just,
Oh, I still have the DVD they gave us at the end.
huh.
Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I had some fun there. I don't think it was all misery, but there was one experience though that just really stuck with me because it was like, so yeah, I'll get into that now finally. So I was supposed to go to the fishing one, right? There was like the little lake down somewhere. I had like my little map, and somehow I got lost on the way there. Ended up wandering around for a while. I found
Oh gosh, dang it!
what? Did you spill your Dr.
Oh.
Pepper?
No, did I ever tell you about the time that my sister, like 2 years ago now, hid a bunch of photos of my little brother's head in my room?
No, that's creepy though.
No, so here's what she did. As a joke, she hid at least over 218 of these little pictures of a person head. I found about 190 something of them the first day, and she felt bad because she didn't realize that I was going to try to find all of them, because originally I was finding them in the bathroom, and I'm like, oh, haha. And then I found them on my bookshelf, and I'm like, oh no, that means they're everywhere. And so I was scouring the entire room. Oh, dang it. So I was scouring the entire room, looking for these stupid little pictures, trying to find them all, and then eventually I got it to the point where it's like, okay, so there's around 15. There's like 20 of these things left based on her estimate for how many she hid, and I still find them. I just found one inside the packet that had my 5th grade camp photos.
It's amazing.
And that was her hope all along. She wanted to hide them and then I'd be finding them years later. But it's like, I don't think you realize just how crazy you drove me that first night, because she didn't realize I was going to try to find them all the first night.
Dang. Yeah, no, my college roommates did something similar to me. At least one of them. They hid a bunch of little plastic army men all over my room in our apartment, and just I still find them occasionally. I found one after we moved when I moved into my first apartment with my wife. I found at least 1 or 2 more. So yeah, that's yeah. No, I know the pain. Of course, I didn't go on a hunt to try to find them. I kind of just stumbled on them whenever I did. But yeah, I guess finish my story about 5th grade camp though. So I got lost. So that was the first stressful part. wandered around. Like I found an adult who helped me figure out where I was supposed to go for the fishing thing.
Mm-hmm.
I went down to the lake
Back
and
when I wore pants.
what was that?
This is back when I wore pants.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, keep going.
So yeah, I finally found it, but by the time I was there was like 5 minutes left of like fishing time, so I didn't really get to participate. But then, so yeah, this is where things get a little complicated to explain. Basically, one of our mutual friends was there.
Which one?
What's it? I'm trying to think of something. It starts with a D. He was our friend in elementary school, or he wasn't.
Okay, well,
I don't know if he was your friend at this point. I think he was.
No, I think it's funny that you say it starts with a D because for the longest time that was most of my friends.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. It's the
but
one.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you know who it is.
Was it here? Let me put it this way: was it weirdo or reckless?
I'm not really comfortable applying either of those to him. So.
Okay, so not that one then. Was it
it's
shorter or taller?
I don't know. Okay, think about how many friends we like mutual friends we had in elementary school.
I'm trying to think of which one this would be.
He was one that was like actually your friend in elementary school. He was your friend.
Oh,
yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so none of the other ones I was thinking of before. Gosh dang it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk after. We'll talk after we're done recording, and we can find out if you got it right. Anyways, that's not important. He was there, and this like little lake we were fishing at was right next to his cabin. And so like, I don't know, somehow you mentioned that was his cabin, and apparently like when the time was up. So what I didn't know is the fishing time was split in half. You were supposed to spend the first half fishing, and then the second half you go inside and learn how to tie flies. So for the first part, like I got there like right at the end of the fishing time, kind of ran out of time, and then oh jeez, I just hit my knuckle on my desk. So our friend then, like when the timer was up, he said, like, I asked him, oh, where are we going? He said, inside. And I was like, oh, well, that's his cabin. So I guess that means it's time for us to go back to our cabins. What it really, no, it's just they happened to be using his cabin to tie the flies because it was right next to the lake. But like I said, I didn't know tying flies was even part of this. So me and my little fifth grader brain thought, oh, well, I guess it's time to go back to my cabin. So I start walking back. I get lost again. Just wandering around the camp trying to figure out where the heck I'm going. And then I run into a teacher. Mr. E. He was a fifth grade teacher. I think it was E. I think his name starts with an E. You know who I'm talking about? The bald one who's really scary.
Oh, that guy. Yep.
Yeah. I ran into him, and this still perplexes me to this day. This guy won like Teacher of the Year awards. He ran into He ran into a fifth grader, like wandering around the camp, clearly lost. His response wasn't, "Oh my gosh, are you lost? Can I help you?" It was, "Where are you not where you were supposed to be? What are you doing?" And then like I was like frantically trying to explain to him, like, I don't know where. Like I thought I was supposed to go back to my cabin. Like that's where they told me to go. And then he just walks away. He got sick of talking to me and just walked away and left me there.
Yep, that tracks.
Yeah, I cannot believe, like, I can't believe how many people I've heard say they like that he's a good teacher. I've never had a good interaction with him. But yeah, so that's something that still perplexes me to this day. Like, I probably should have spoken up and told somebody about that, because that was probably problematic.
Hey, dude, you want a comparison for like, I was just looking. I found the photo of my entire cabin group, and well, I guess I can't read off the names here, can I?
I mean, you probably could. They're probably pretty generic names. Just give some abstraction. I probably, it doesn't matter. I won't remember who any of them are anyways.
Let's see. Smart kid who who is weird and didn't talk to a lot of people, but was really, really smart.
That's a lot of people. I'm telling you, I really don't remember any. Can you text me a picture of it? How about that?
No.
No? No,
my phone camera sucks, remember?
It'd be good enough.
Here, let me see if I can get this. But bottom line, I'd like to tell. Do you guys here's something weird? So you know me now, yes?
Yeah, I would say so.
Back in fifth grade, that my cabin did a thing where they all drew marker mustaches on themselves. I also participated in that.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean, uh-oh?
I'm worried where this is going. What kind of mustache did you draw?
No, I drew a regular mustache.
Okay, that's not where I thought this was going.
Oh, no. I'm just meaning, like, the fact that I drew one at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you hate markers.
Yeah.
You drew a marker. Wow. Wow, you actually did it.
I know.
So wait, what's your
Oh my
point?
gosh. It's just weird. I
It's weird
think I
that,
used to be. I think I was less uptight somehow.
well, I mean, all children are. I was
And yet
still.
somehow I think I was more uptight back then.
I I would say
Just kidding.
you.
Well, that's probably about as good a picture as I'm going to be able to get off of this thing.
Yeah, well, works for me.
I'm going to text it over. Anyways, what were you saying?
Oh, I don't know. I think we're all less uptight. Kids don't have the ability to stress as much. They can't think ahead as much. They can't worry about what comes next. So they can be uptight in their own ways, but they can't be uptight like an adult can.
Okay. I'm going to send you this picture. Hopefully you can tell. This is the picture of my cabin mates.
Oh, and I guess I
remember
should
the
say
name.
that that fifth grade camp story, I ended up finding my way back to the cabin. I found another.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I found another adult
Did you
who.
find your way back? Did
Uh,
you get lost in the woods forever?
yeah, I mean, I wasn't like lost in the woods. I was like walking the trails in the campsite, but it was an enormous campsite. So it's like, at least for a fifth grader, it was enormous. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh wow, yeah, that's one blurry picture.
Well, yeah, because that's a photo that was developed from a disposable camera that I then took with a picture of my camera, which has been broken for like months at this point.
Oh my gosh, yeah, wow, this brings back memories. Yeah, no, like the kid on your left, that's the one I was talking about, our mutual friend.
Oh, you were talking about him?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I don't
I
know.
thought you were talking about Well, I thought it was between Tall Man
I know. Yeah, tall man. We
and
did. If
did
tall
we
man
not
is
meet
who
him until middle school?
I don't think so. Yeah, say if it's tall man, I'm thinking of.
Oh,
We didn't even go to the same elementary
huh.
school as
Never
him.
mind then. And then the other guy I was thinking of was he has a brother whose name starts with the same letter as him.
Uh, uh, I don't know.
You think if I give initials, you think that's good enough?
Maybe, sure.
Their names were both RS.
I remember an RS, but
I
his.
thought you were. So yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
thought it was.
okay. Yeah, no, I know
You
who you're
know
talking
who
about.
I'm
No, it
talking
wasn't
about?
him. Yeah, no, I wasn't
I
really
thought you were
friends
talking
with
about
him.
either him or Tall Man.
Yeah, no, it was neither of them. I just said his name started with a D.
Oh wait, oh yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh duh. Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, no, that was like my best friend throughout the entire second half of elementary school and most of middle school. And then, I mean, still through high school, but we started drifting apart at that point.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first half of elementary school was definitely you know the other kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you?
I mean, I didn't know him personally, but I know
Hold
who he
on.
is.
I'll just type it in the Discord. That'll make it easier. Why didn't we use this before? We have the way to do this.
Oh, that's clear. That's obvious now.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, no, I knew of him. I mean, I wasn't really like friends with him. I talked to
Yeah,
him a few
no.
times, but I didn't really know him.
No, you see, because I only ever make friends with people who are basically on the same wavelength as me.
Hmm.
He definitely was.
Yeah.
Here, you know what? Why don't you tell them?
Tell them what?
Tell them the one story that you're probably thinking of right now that was an example of how much of a weirdo I was in elementary school.
Which
And why everyone else thought we were kind of losers.
which story was that? Oh, the jump rope one?
That one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm surprised. I guess I am on the same wavelength. Yeah, they had this idea. So if you spin a jump rope real fast, you know how like it makes kind of like a humming sound, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like when the wind, I guess it's like the wind or something. They thought that was a time portal opening up. So they had this idea that if they spun a jump rope fast enough and then jumped into it, they could travel through time. And they spent several recesses trying to do this.
It was at least a week. It might have been longer.
I don't think I actually saw you doing any of this, but I did hear about it after the fact.
Who did you hear about it from?
You? You told me about
Wait,
it?
me?
Yeah, years
Oh
later.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, we weren't friends yet.
Yeah, no, we didn't become friends until like literally the last day of fifth grade. I think is kind of when we finally
I
started
thought it
becoming friends?
started in 6th grade math class.
Well, I mean, that's where we started really being friends, but I'd say like the end of 5th grade is kind of when we started actually like talking to each other.
Yeah, didn't you say before it was because you finally saw that one kid that you were really good friends with do something and then realized that I hadn't been making it up the whole time?
Yeah, so there's had been this weird thing where like he had basically been bullying you like the entire time, but he never did it when I
Yeah.
was around because he knew that, I would not approve.
Yeah, he was just harassing me and pushing my buttons, and he would repeatedly frame me for things.
Yeah, and he would and
It
like
kept happening.
and yeah, so it's like he would pick on you at recess, and then he would like, when it would come up later, he would always twist the story and like since based on my relationship with you in elementary school, I of course sided with my friend because
Well,
I knew
yeah,
that.
why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and it's like, and I knew that you were known to take things the wrong way. That had happened, like it had happened to me before. I think there had been like times when things were said that were taken the wrong way, or you took offense to something that wasn't supposed to be offensive. So of course I sided with my friend, but it wasn't until literally the last day of 5th grade, I finally saw him doing something that was like irrefutable. It's like, no, okay, like I think I actually just outright told him, oh, it was like, my God, you are a jerk.
Do you
And
even remember what it was?
he just got, I don't remember exactly.
Because I don't.
I remember it's something with him saying you were gullible and that he was gullibling you and getting like way up in your face about it. And like, I don't remember everything that happened up to that point. For some reason, I have a memory of that exact moment, but it was like something just clicked for me, and I was finally like, wow, okay, yeah, you weren't lying. He really is just a jerk. Dang. And that was kind of what was the beginning of the end of my friendship with the other guy. I think we
Yeah.
stayed friends through like, or at least we tried to stay friends through like the beginning of middle school, but we just kind of drifted apart. And
I don't know. Weirdly enough, I kind of ended up befriending him to a degree, and he came to several of my birthday parties after that.
right, yeah, that did happen.
Excuse me.
Nice one. Yeah, no, so
not-
yeah, so I guess
not-
we stayed friends for longer than that. It was like through like the beginning of middle school we stayed friends. I think near like end of middle school is kind of when we started drifting apart because he became friends with like the band kids and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fitting, given his name. Huh?
What?
Eh?
Wait. What's fitting given his name? That
You became friends with the band kids.
Oh, right. Okay. Funny.
It's a joke that only makes sense to us.
Yeah. Hey, we're at the 30-minute. Should we do the old
Oh,
ad
are we?
break?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Ad break. Oh,
Eh.
wait, there it is. Ad break.
There's gonna be caribou chili tonight, boys. Cluck, cluck, yeah. Cluck, cluck, yeah. Ooh, caribou.
Hi, everyone.
Wow, that's the longest note you've ever held. Dang.
Boy, howdy, sure it is.
All right.
Wait, hold on. What were we talking about? Oh, right. So, you know what's weird to think about? It's like, oh yeah, wait, hold on. I gotta tell you the other story. The other mate of there was like, I'm sure there was more than one, but these are the two I remember the most. There was the aforementioned time travel with the jump rope incident, but then there was another time when I think we may well have spent, I know we spent multiple weeks. Who knows how long we actually spent on this, but we became convinced. I think he thought of the idea first that there was a alternate dimension where all the cartoon characters from TV shows lived in like a sort of cartoon world. And we were convinced that if we did everything, that if we did a series of rituals, we'd be able to open up a portal to the cartoon world and then go hang out there.
And what were these rituals, and how did you come to
Well,
learn them?
I don't know. I think he thought of them mostly. But like, okay, you want to know we were running all around. We had to find clues. We created a treasure hunt for ourselves without knowing where it actually ended up.
I mean,
It's kind of like confirmation bias, essentially.
I mean,
It's like,
guess.
oh, clearly I found a thing in this part of the playground that corresponds to this other thing. Clearly, this is evidence of Cartoon World. It was that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
Like at one point, there was somebody put in the back playground, you know, where the concrete overhang is, and then there's like that one brick wall that's just kind of by itself.
Yeah, that thing always confused me. I think it's just supposed to be like
Yeah.
a windbreak for like when the kids are standing under that.
Yeah. So like that brick wall by itself, the wall that was right behind that was the outer wall of the concrete overhang. There was somebody put a little swirly sticker right there. And we tapped on the brick and we thought it sounded hollow. So we're like, oh my gosh, clearly a swirly sticker.
Oh, wait,
That's
I
the
remember
symbol
this.
for a portal.
I
That's
remember
the symbol
this.
for a portal.
It's like
And the brick is hollow, so that means we have to break through here to get to the other side.
So wait, did you guys actually try to break the brick?
Oh, we kept trying to think of ways to open up the brick wall.
Yeah, I don't.
We tried.
Did you ever just like try to break it, like hit it with things?
No, I don't think that would have worked.
Yeah.
The jump ropes might have come back into it. I don't remember.
Yeah, I never participated in this, but I'm pretty sure I like ran into you a few times at recess while you guys were working on this like scavenger hunt, and it was pretty interesting. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool at the time, even. But I mean, I guess what I never understood though, like, did you guys fully believe in it, or was there like some element of you that knew that this was just a game?
I don't know, because I remember being really sad when everything we tried hadn't worked, and I distinctly remember a time where I was really upset with him, and I was like, man, it's not gonna work. I wanted to actually get there. I thought we were gonna be able to get, and then he started like crying, but like you know the fire truck from Cars?
Yeah.
He started like doing that, and then we had to cheer him up, and then we just went right back to doing our thing.
Well, afterwards. We started doing the
he
fire
was like,
truck from Cars.
I don't know. It was I can't tell how much of it was real and how much was not, because he was just kind of a weird guy.
Yeah, I think that's just
kind
of how he was.
I distinctly remember him giving like the kid version of a dressing down when I thought that he had been wrong about this and that we weren't going to be able to do it. And I was like disappointed about it. And then I think he got sad about that. And then we apologized and just went back to goofing around.
Oh my gosh. You need to make a movie or something.
There's a distinct possibility that what?
You need to make a movie about this stuff. This is amazing.
There's a distinct possibility that we actually did believe that this was real. I remember at one point he was like, okay, so here's what we got to do today. We have to do impressions of our favorite characters so that we'll be able to open up the portal or whatever. So cue me going around with a terrible Scottish accent while I imitate Gordon from Cat Scratch.
Oh gosh. Oh, that's amazing.
I don't remember who he did. We did several characters. I just distinctly remember that I definitely did Gordon from Cat Scratch.
Yeah, see, I think one of the only times I remember actually playing with like that kid at recess was you guys were playing some kind of like Lucky Charms game where it was like one of you was the leprechaun and we were like trying to catch the leprechaun. I think you were the leprechaun. We were trying to catch him, and you had all these like really specific rules where like what was it?
Like me.
Yeah, it was like you had like each marshmallow charm had like a different power that you could use, and then we had to.
I'm sorry, did I actually have the marshmallow charms with me?
No, I don't think so. This was all imaginary. But I think like
we were going based off of the Lucky Charms cereal though.
Yeah, so we had to like hit you with milk, I think, to like make you freeze so we could catch you or something. But like
what was the milk?
I don't know, but you specifically said that you had like already taken all the milk, so we had no way to catch you.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then I remember.
Look, I didn't. Back in these days, I didn't know how to have fun with other people. I only understood how to make it fun for me.
Yeah.
Which paradoxically led to it not being fun for me because it wasn't fun for other people, and then they didn't want to play with me.
Yeah, I think we've even talked about this before, that like you didn't understand that it wasn't a competition. Like.
Yeah, no, my first goal was winning, always.
Yeah, even when there wasn't.
Hence why in the game where make up your own character, I came up with, I've got Mr. Morph. He's a shapeshifter. He can turn into anything, and he can instantly counter anything you do, and then he can turn into a life sucker machine and suck your life out.
I just remember, yeah, and you would like always kill all my characters. I'd try to play as like,
yes.
I don't know.
Yep.
I usually played as like a Bionicle or like one of the Bionicle characters or like, I don't know, I think my friends always picked like Naruto characters. There was one point where the game just straight up turned into Naruto.
Yeah, I don't know if I was around for that point.
Yeah, that was
I didn't get along with you kids.
Huh.
Which, I mean, is not totally my fault, but a lot of it is my fault. I was bullied a lot.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
But then again, my like my dad always says, I made myself an easy target.
Yeah, that sounds like something your dad would say.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong.
No, I mean, yeah, you were basically the stereotypical
I used to react a lot
target,
more
but
to other people.
yeah, but and then kids also were just jerks though. So
The only one, there's one that it's like, if only I could figure out if that actually happened or if that's just my brain exaggerating. But I distinctly remember a time where a bunch of the kids gathered up behind a snow fort wall, excluded me, and then they were all chanting no.
I know I
And
at
it's
least
like,
didn't participate in that.
I distinctly remember that happening, but I can't remember. I can't remember if it did happen, but it wasn't as big as I thought, or if it just didn't happen and my brain made that up. I can't tell.
Yeah, like I don't know if I'm just manufacturing the memory because you described it to me, but I feel like I actually saw that happen at one point or something. I feel like I saw some version of that or heard about some version of that at least. So I don't know. I'd believe it because kids were jerks. Like I said, I know I probably at least didn't participate, but I wouldn't. Yeah, I that sounds like something some of the jerks in our class would have done. I don't know.
I don't know. I can't remember if that actually happened or not. My memory is not reliable.
Yeah.
Where was I going with this? Oh, I don't know. Okay, I get. I'll say it because speaking as somebody who got bullied a lot in elementary school, I don't totally understand people now who are when it's not like some sort of life-threatening thing and it was just general bullying, how they're like insecure wrecks now and like they're super traumatized by it, and it's like, what? Just get over it. It was in elementary school.
What, getting bullied?
I don't get it.
Well, I think a lot of the bullying that
some people talk about bullying and they act like it's way more serious, and it's like, I got bullied all the time. What are you talking about?
there's
Like a lot.
There's different degrees of bullying. Like you're the kind of bullying that I think you mostly were was like being picked on. There's bullying.
It goes beyond being picked on.
Oh, I guess maybe there's
It
more.
was relentless.
I mean, I'm sure there's probably more I haven't heard about, but I mean,
And also that one kid who actually was hurting me, and there's a couple of those kids actually.
yikes! Yeah, I think I
There was the one kid with the mental disorder. You remember that kid?
Yeah, I do remember that kid.
Yeah, that kid. That one annoyed me the most because if I complained about it, some of the teachers wouldn't want to do stuff because they'd always be like, "Oh, well, you just gotta be patient with. He's got a mental thing." And then like other kids would tell me, "Well, he's got a mental thing, so it's not really his fault." Meanwhile, this kid is like threatening to snap my neck, being verbally abusive, threw me into a table once, hit me multiple times. My dad, he got involved. He went up to the school and he's like, "If you don't deal with this, I am calling the cops because I'm not going to let this kid keep threatening my son."
Good for your dad. Like, geez.
Yeah, so that's what got them to finally do something about it. But then, that led to the aforementioned, not in this episode, but the other episode, where they're like, "All right, you get the pavement and you get the playground." And it's like, why do I only get the pavement? I wasn't even the problem here.
Yeah, that sounds like the school system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, no, in general, there's sometimes people today talk about bullying in a way that's like, I get that it's a serious issue, but they always talk about it like it's the most serious issue ever, and it's like, I mean, it's really not.
It really can be. Like, that's kind of honestly a bit of a sensitive topic. Even like some people, it really depends. There's a lot of factors. Like bullying can target a lot more specifically. Like if kids have something specific about them that makes them a target that gets focused on, it can actually like damage their self-esteem and their like like make them feel even more insecure about that. Like if they have some kind of disability or some kind of and a lot of it is too also you don't know how different people are going to react, but it's like bullying definitely is serious because there are lots of times when
I know. No, I'm not saying that it's not serious.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I don't get when people are still upset about it now.
Oh, it just
it's like, oh my God, they talk about it like it's the most traumatic thing that ever happened to them, and it's
it really could be.
It's 20 years later, and it's like, and again, I say this as somebody who got bullied a lot. I don't get it.
I mean, it's good that you were able to move on because I agree that it's better not to hang on to things, but it just different people respond to different trauma in different ways, and it's really hard to just say as a blanket statement you shouldn't hang on to it because some of the things that happen to people in school are just horrible. Like there have been times when people have been driven to suicide by it, and it's.
Well, I know. Like I said, like obviously there are the more extreme cases. I'm just meaning like the general sort of bullying. Because like I get if you were like, like beaten as a child, like that makes sense. Or if like you had certain other things happen to you, that makes sense. I just don't get like when they're talking about general bullying because it's like, I don't know. Maybe this is just my stubbornness coming in.
It's just bullying. There's so many different degrees of bullying. I think that'd be my guess is they probably try to respond to all bullying the same because even like low level bullying can progress into something much more serious. So I think they just kind of, because of how severe it can get, they kind of respond to it all as it's incredibly, like they respond to it all like it's severe, which is probably the safest way to go. Bullying is just not something that should be tolerated.
Well, hold on now. The zero tolerance policies do not help.
No, I don't
They
mean...
just cause more problems.
I don't mean like a zero tolerance... I don't mean specifically a zero tolerance policy. I just mean that bullying, like, shouldn't just be you shouldn't just let bullying slide. Something should be done about it.
There should be like some sort of a proportional response. Because one thing that always annoyed me is like the tendency of teachers to be like, well, if you defend yourself or then you're just as bad as the bully. And it's like, that is some complete BS.
Yeah, no, kids should be allowed to defend themselves, especially if they're being physically threatened. They should be able to respond physically to protect themselves.
Well, exactly. And this is why zero tolerance policies suck. Because you end up with, it's like, okay, so if anybody fights at all, then you're both getting suspended. So now the kid is like, well, I'm getting attacked here. That's already happening. So apparently I'm going to get suspended no matter what. So I may as well go all out. Try to minimize the damage. That's what they do. And now it's a worse fight. That's the tendency.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm
definitely not saying the school handles it right. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Something needs to be done.
Our school did. But we had supervisors who I'm convinced hated children.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so funny looking back and like with an adult perspective on some of the stuff that happened in middle school, elementary school, or just school in general. But, oh man, I could probably fill a whole podcast talking about my 4th grade teacher.
Who'd you have for 4th grade? Which one?
Mr. O. He was bald, had a beard, bald with a beard, former Navy SEAL, and still seemed to think he was a Navy SEAL.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Wait, was he bald?
Yeah, he was bald.
I thought he had hair.
Oh, okay, he was bald on top of his head. He had the thing where he had like hair around like the sides and back of his head. You know?
Okay, I'm picturing a completely different guy in my head. Did he have glasses?
Yeah, he had glasses. Glasses and a beard, and a very French-sounding name.
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. Was he fatter or less fat?
I seem to remember him being skinnier, but I don't...
Is he a skinny guy or a fatter guy?
I would say skinnier was my recollection.
I've got a very specific image in my head, but I don't think it... Who am I thinking of now?
What's the guy you're thinking of look like?
He's got like square-rimmed glasses, a beard, kind of a bigger dude, and he's got a full head of hair.
Yeah, that's definitely not... I seem to remember my teacher having round glasses also. But,
was that one of the high school teachers?
Do you
remember a guy that looks like that?
Teacher? I don't know. I can't think of it. There weren't a lot of male teachers at our school. Are you thinking of your third grade teacher? High school.
No, he wasn't. He didn't look like that.
He was our third grade teacher, I guess. He was.
Maybe that was a high school teacher. Now that I think about it, he might be like a music guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he might be a music guy.
Or maybe
anyways,
one of the gym teachers?
What about?
Oh yeah.
No, he wasn't one of the gym teachers.
Yeah, no, Mr. O, he was just
Pick a story. What's your favorite or least favorite?
Oh man, well, yeah, I guess let's just start at the beginning. Like first day of school. Literally,
sorry, I just got an image of you just on the couch. And just me, like, all right, why don't we start at the beginning?
Tell me about your mother.
Well, it all started back in 4th grade, and then like flashbacks.
Yeah,
and it's in sepia tone.
So yeah, I guess a little backstory on this teacher. He was a Navy SEAL, which already should probably disqualify you from ever being a school teacher, if we're honest.
I don't know about that.
Okay, yeah, probably not. But this guy at least seemed to still have the Navy SEAL mindset. Or I guess, no, he wasn't a Navy SEAL. He was Coast Guard. That's what he was. He was Coast Guard, not Navy SEAL. But still, he was... I'm
a Coast Guard.
He knew how to be scary, and he used that to his advantage against 4th graders. So that's great.
Yeah. Okay, look, I'm not going to defend this specific teacher, but I'm not going to necessarily say that those methods are inherently bad. Teachers should be scary sometimes.
Yeah, they should be, but like he just was all the time pretty much. But
here's sometimes you got to put the fear of God and Satan into kids.
Yeah, maybe not all the time.
Every now and then, some days you will lose control of the entire class and it's the only thing that's going to get it back is you need to remind them where they are again and what they're. You got to remind them, like, you're in school, I'm the teacher, this is not acceptable.
Yeah, and I think
every now and then you're going to have to do that.
And that's actually, I think, kind of shows just how like strict and uptight and honestly like over the top this guy was. Anytime he wasn't in the classroom, whenever it was like a substitute or if we were in like library time or something, my class went like berserk. Like that's the worst that's like the worst class I've ever been a part of as far as kids misbehaving. Like kids jumping over chairs, shouting, running around. That's basically like whenever he wasn't in the classroom, like whenever he wasn't the one in charge, my entire class just devolved into chaos. And I think it was because they'd become so accustomed to being constantly hounded that whenever that wasn't there, they just kind of forgot kind of forgot how to behave. So, but that's a separate thing. So yeah, basically like, here's an example though. First day of school, you know how like, our school had the system where like the supervisors would blow the whistle 5 minutes before class. You'd have 5 minutes to get to your classroom. And then, the teacher would open the door and let you in after 5 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
I'm remembering that right?
I don't know if that's how. I feel like they warned you first, and then you had to line up on the pavement, and then you went inside.
I think that was later. I think they introduced that later because there was an issue of kids not going back to the classrooms right away or something, or kids being late or something. I don't remember, but I seem to. Anyways, there was a system where there was like a 5-minute warning bell or whistle. I guess they used a whistle, not a bell, but there was a 5-minute warning, and then you'd get to class, and that's when you're supposed to go to class. Well, he thought. Yeah. This teacher, he thought when the whistle blew, that's when you're supposed to be in class.
Well, how? No.
Yeah, I don't know. That's how he thought it worked. So like the first few days of school, I would show up and me and the other kids, we'd get to the classroom and he'd be standing there with the door open and we're like, okay, I guess we're going in. Everything seemed fine. Well, then on like a week into school, there was one day we all showed up perfectly on time. The whistle blew. We showed up all except like I think 2 or 3 kids had gotten there early because they had to work on something before class or they just for some reason were early. They were the only ones that got in. He basically locked the door on us. Once the whistle blew, he locked the door and told us all to go around to the office. And then we all had to go.
How many kids was that?
Probably like, I don't know, how many kids were in the classroom? Like 20, 25?
So what you're telling me is that this guy sent about 15 to 16 kids all at once.
Yeah, to the office.
And that didn't raise any questions from the administration.
No, it actually didn't. She berated us too. She said, the lady at the front desk was like, so he's like, you kids need to be on time. Basically, it's like, I'm not going to sit here and write late slips for all 15 of you, but this can't happen again. And so then they made a specific rule for my class only that they would blow a special whistle 5 minutes before the 5-minute warning. That's when we had to go. That's when we had to go to the classroom. So yeah, this guy had his head so far up his own ass that he did not clue into the fact that maybe he was the one that was wrong. That, maybe these kids, like maybe they understand the whistle system. Like we've been in the school for 4 years now at this point. 5 years actually, if you count kindergarten. Maybe we knew how it worked. Maybe we weren't all being late. Maybe he had something wrong. But no, he always had to be right. That was like the biggest problem with his class is he would never believe he was wrong. Yeah, there was another situation like that where, I don't know, do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, that's a great attribute to having a teacher.
Yeah, so yeah, that was that incident. So yeah, that was at the start of the year. And this is what's funny here. I'll even say this up front. I liked him when I was a kid. It's like, I liked him as a teacher. Like I respected him and like I did well in his class. I liked him. It's not until I'm an adult looking back that I'm able to look back with that mindset that adults aren't always right when I'm realizing just how wrong this guy was. There was so like,
well, see, it's like this. It's like the teacher is never wrong, but you have to be willing to be wrong.
Yeah. It's like, it's like, yeah.
It's like at the end of the day, they need to do what you say, but also you don't be a douche.
Yeah, and this guy didn't follow that. But yeah, another situation like that. He would always have us like fill out our planners with our homework every day, right?
I ran over a stick of gum with my chair.
Ew.
No, it's a wrapped stick. It's just a bit flat. I think I could salvage this for tomorrow.
Oh, okay. That's
Anyways.
Good. But yeah, he another one was like he would write our homework up on the board and he would have us copy it into our planner and he'd come around the classroom and have us like, what was it? He would come and sign off on it basically. He would sign off on our planner to make sure we had our homework written down right. And then, basically that way there was no excuse if we got to class the next day and our homework wasn't done. Well, we had these things we would do that was like weekly science problems. Like it was like he'd give us like this worksheet at the start of the week that would have like, or no, it's like at the start of the month, he'd give us this worksheet that had like science like problems we had to do, and he would have a due date written on all of them. And he would always make sure to write, like, when it was due, the day before, he'd put it on our homework list, and we'd go do it. Well, one day, he forgot he didn't write it down. The due date was the next day for that one. It was on the paper, but he didn't write the homework thing down. Coincidentally, like, luckily for me, that night, my mom noticed that the due date was, like, the next day, and so we're like, oh, yeah, I guess we better go ahead and do that. He's probably not, like, since he didn't have us write it down, he's probably not going to, like, make it a big deal of it if we didn't have it done. You know where this is going. So yeah, I had mine done, but yeah, the next day in class, he went on an absolute rampage when no one had it done, except for like me and maybe like one or two other people just coincidentally had it done. He went on a rampage. People even brought out their planners and showed them. It's like, it's not written down here. You signed off on this. And he's like, no, you just erased it.
That's not how, what?
Yeah. And I
can
even
see eraser marks.
I didn't even have it written in mine. Like, I don't know if I even called it, like, I was terrified of this guy, so I probably didn't go as far as to say, look, I don't have it written down either, and I actually had it done. But yeah. But yeah, so that's another example of him refusing to be wrong, even when he's obviously in the minority of, like, thinking, you know what I mean? Like, when he's obviously...
Well, here's the thing. When you're a teacher, if the whole class is wrong, then that means you did something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't have that mindset. He didn't understand that concept. And he was a jerk, and like he used fear as a, like, that was the thing too, is he used fear, and like he used humiliation as punishment. He would like berate you in front of the entire class.
My third grade teacher ruled with respect. My fourth grade teacher ruled with fear. I intend to rule with fear.
Yeah, no, just
flip those around.
But yeah, no, I think he actually probably still carries some trauma from that class. Like, that's why I got in trouble for like talking like during work time, like one or two times. And he was so over the top about the punishment that I think that's probably why I was so quiet for like the entire rest of my time in school.
I don't know.
I mean, that's probably at least part of it.
I don't know, man. You here's the thing. I never learned, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I learned very slowly.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. My parents say that I've changed a lot from elementary school to now, but I look back at everything and I'm like, I'm pretty sure the only thing that changed is that I gained more impulse control. I don't feel all that different.
I mean, it's a big change though. That's a big part of growing up. That's true for any
kid.
But
I don't feel like my personality ever really changed.
I don't know.
Maybe I was more outgoing when I was younger. Maybe that changed.
I mean, I was more outgoing as a kid too.
I will say, I do know I was less cynical. I grew gradually more and more cynical the older I got.
I think that's just part of being an adult.
Yeah, I don't know. My parents would lead me to believe that I'm too cynical to the point that it's not healthy. What do you think?
About some things. Probably not about everything, but...
I don't know.
It does seem like you like to be angry sometimes.
I don't know. I feed off of anger.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I got one more story about that teacher if you want to hear it.
Okay, yeah, go for it. I talk a lot anyways.
Yeah, this is great. This is probably some kind of therapy for me, letting all this out.
Just imagine that I have a beard and glasses. And
no, that looks too much like my teacher.
No, a long beard.
Oh, like a Freud beard?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is fine. I've never met a therapist.
I could go get my fake beard if that would help.
Well, I mean, I can't see it. You could just tell me you're wearing it.
You can imagine it.
Yeah. Well, you do what you want, I guess. But yeah, another one.
Indeed so.
So we had this thing where, I think this was like the first time we did it, so it wasn't even like an established thing, but whenever we had a test in class, he would pass them out. You know, he'd give us backward graded tests, like, you know, the next week or whatever, and then we'd go through each problem, and, you know, if you got it wrong, we'd figure out, basically, here's how you do it the right way.
Yeah.
Like, that's all fine. That's all well and good. But yeah, like I said, this particular incident, I'm pretty sure it was like the first time we did this, so it wasn't like an established routine that I should have known. But he was passing out passing tests back. I didn't get one, so I just didn't question it because, like I said,
Why didn't you just ask for one?
Because I didn't know I was supposed to have one. Like I said, this teacher had basically drilled into our heads that he is never wrong. So if he didn't give me a test, I probably wasn't supposed to have one. I don't know. I think I had the. I think I had the impression.
I just was looking in the drive. I see the next upload was uploaded, and you called it garbage.
Well, yeah, that's what we said. That's what I said we were gonna call it.
The Garbo episode.
Yeah. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want.
You put winging it for number 15. I renamed it to let me set the stage.
Oh, that's perfect. I mean, you can name it whatever you want when you actually upload it.
I know. I felt like, because after doing that, I'm like, I think that this will be a good title for this.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyway, sorry, keep going.
So yeah, basically, I didn't question not getting it back. I think that, because I think what had happened is there were some kids that had done a retest. Like if you failed the first test, there was an opportunity to take the test again. So I think what I thought was happening is that it was the kids, like he was going over it with the kids that had done the retest. Mm-hmm. Is I think my assumption. I think that's what I figured out. But like I said, I didn't get a test back. He was a teacher who was never allowed to be wrong. So I just assumed I wasn't supposed to have one, and I was, not going to speak up about it. I wasn't going to speak up about it. So I sat there being good, sat quietly at my desk, and then he came over and started pounding on my desk and said, "Why get this test out? What are you doing?" Basically, it's like, "What are you doing? We need to have this out." So I panicked and tore apart my whole desk looking for it because I figured he must have passed it out earlier, and I just shoved it in my folder. So I tore apart my whole desk trying to find it.
Why didn't you just tell him at that point that you didn't have one?
Because like I said, he was I was a fourth grader who didn't speak up well who didn't stand up for himself very well anyways. This guy was terrifying, and as I have said, he was not allowed to be wrong. So I feel
like I had the opposite problem of you.
Yeah, probably. You would not have worked with either. You would not have done well with this teacher.
When I was that age, I mean, still to some degree today, but when I was that age, I could never be wrong. So
yeah, you would not have gotten along with that teacher.
No.
But yeah. So then I think I just figured that I don't know. I couldn't find it, and then he came back and pounded on my desk again, did the whole number, and that's when I finally breaking down in tears told him, "You didn't give me a test," and then he didn't believe me. I think he didn't believe me or something. And then some kid across the room spoke up and said "Hey, his test is stapled to mine." So yeah, it was his fault. He stapled my test to the back of another kid's because it was a kid that had done the retest.
I'm going to guess that after that, he just gave you the other test and didn't say a word.
Yep. He never apologized about it. He never talked about it. He just gave me my test back and moved on. And I just sat there traumatized. God.
Real piece of work.
Real piece of work.
Real piece of work.
I'm not sure where that teacher is now, but hey, if you're listening, screw you. It's well overdue.
Yeah, there you go. Therapy.
I know I liked you at the time, but jeez.
I cannot, based on the stories you told me, it's how in the hell did you like him at the time? That would have been the guy I went home to complain about to my parents.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
Of course. Well, I don't know. I actually, as far as I can tell, I actually did receive unfair treatment, but mostly from administrative staff and supervisors. My teachers generally liked me.
Yeah, so I got along fine. I got along well with all of my teachers. I didn't have any problems with my teachers, at least, at the time.
No, you did. You just apparently didn't realize it.
I didn't know.
Somehow.
I was ambivalent to it, I guess.
Yeah, is this what teaching is?
Yeah, I guess this is how teaching works. Yeah, I was still kind of at that age where adults couldn't be wrong, I guess. I know you probably didn't have that, but
there we go. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. There was definitely a time when I more trusted adults more on the basis of they were adults. But then very quickly I abandoned that, and I was thinking well, why does that make them right? They have to explain themselves. But apparently I had that attitude too early.
Yeah, and I think you took it too far sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's not much of a revelation or a hot take.
Well, no, fine. Give me a story from your perspective.
Well, I just remember for me, it was when we were on the cross country team together, he would always complain about the warm up exercises and the things they would have us do, the core routine. You wanted to just get out there and run, and you thought it was stupid that we had to sit there and stretch our legs and do all this stuff because you thought it was pointless.
I didn't say that.
You had kind of that attitude. I don't remember specifically what you said.
Well, I didn't say it to them.
No, you never said it to them, but you always, the whole time we were doing it, you would complain about it to me, and it was kind of that's where I would think it's well, they're the coaches. I feel like there's probably a purpose for this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of those times where I trusted their authority and just did it anyways, even if I didn't see the point. But yeah, I mean, I did see the point.
I mean,
though.
I did that too. I was just venting about it to you. Apparently.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. But no, I guess that's an example. I don't know. We didn't interact a lot.
I'd grown out of it in high school mostly. People liked me more in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, you found
Because
your friend group.
apparently in elementary school I was insufferable.
I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far, but I mean,
I don't know. It seemed like it.
I don't know.
What was you must have had a perspective. I was the
I-
weird dude who was
Yeah.
loud and annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I know I thought you were annoying and you weren't fun to play with at recess, but I mean, I think I knew that, like, you had a lot of the same interests as me, and I saw, like, the games that you and your friend were playing, like you and the friend we were talking about earlier. I saw the games you guys were playing, and I knew I wanted to be a part of that. Like, I knew I wanted to be, I think that's where I was. I wanted to be friends with you because I saw, like, you had this crazy imagination and you could be a lot of fun. There was some disconnect in there. We couldn't figure out how to communicate and
The
coexist.
disconnect. Well, the disconnect was that you thought I was annoying for no reason, but then you realize about some things that I was telling the truth all along, and now you were more willing to listen to me.
Oh, no, I mean even before that,
That
the
was
disconnect.
definitely part of it.
I mean, that was part of it at the end there, but no, like, I meant, like, the disconnect with, like, wanting to play with you at recess, was, like, kind of goes back to the issue of you wanting to win games that didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wanting to win
Which
games
is
that didn't have
it's
winners.
weird now because I feel like somehow you got more competitive than I did. It's weird.
Yeah, only in Smash Bros.
Oh, yeah, only in Smash Bros.
Only in
Which
Smash
it's like
Bros.
it's weird when we play Smash Bros. Because it's like the complete opposite of the dynamic as it used to be. It's like I just don't really care, and you get like really
I get really intense
like you
about
get
it.
really intense
Yeah, I
when we
know.
play Smash Bros.
I think it's probably because of, I don't know, probably because of how I play Smash Bros. With my brother. We were very competitive growing up with that game, and I think that's just
I don't
kinda
know.
how I learned
He
to
was
interact with it.
competitive, and then you had to be competitive to survive.
Yeah, there you go. That's about right.
Yeah, because like I don't know, I feel like you, by your nature, are not super competitive most of the time.
Yeah, no, that's probably true. I couldn't care less about most things like that. Like cross country, I didn't care about even placing in the race. I just wanted to run.
No. I wasn't trying to place because I had already decided, like, well, here's the thing. The varsity runners are so far ahead of me that it is unlikely I will ever place. So I may as well just try to beat my own times.
Yeah, and I didn't even join cross country till my senior year, so I knew there was no chance I was going to be, I wasn't going to be outrunning people that had been doing it for their entire high school career.
I regret that I didn't join back in freshman year.
Yeah, well, you joined junior, sophomore year?
Sophomore year.
Right.
I
Yeah,
did
no.
it for 3 years.
Well, looking back, it's like, I would say I wish I had joined earlier, but I really, you know why I didn't.
Yeah. I definitely think it would have been nice if I had joined earlier.
Yeah. No, I mean, it would have been great if I had, but I physically couldn't earlier,
Yeah, because you're a big fancy college man, going to the college.
No,
running start and all that.
I did cross country while I was in running start. That wasn't the issue.
You're going away to college because he thinks he's too good for us high schoolers.
Well, that wasn't
Oh,
it.
look at me. I got a psychology degree. I'm going to look at the Freudian couches now. You're all going to be running laps around your tracks, getting all your A's, but realizing that you have no future. You're going to be working at McDonald's. I'm ordering a triple cheeseburger from you the next day.
Yeah, no, I was in cross country in running start. Remember? That was like
No.
That was how we stayed in touch.
It conflicts with the mental image I just now created. So, therefore, no.
Yeah, no, I joined my senior year. I was in college my senior year because of running start.
Wait, so why didn't you join earlier then?
Because I had a bad thyroid.
Oh, right. Wait, you didn't fix that until the end of high school?
They didn't start medicating me for it till I was probably 16 or 17 at least.
Oh.
So I maybe could have joined junior year.
Which is
but-
weird because, like, right now you were like super. Well, I don't know if
Skinny.
super skinny, but you're like really skinny now, and
Yep.
the contrast is amazing.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I guess I'll put in context. I was 230 pounds on my 16th birthday. Now I hang somewhere around 150.
Jeez, man, I'm like 40 pounds heavier than you.
Yeah, no, because 16, that was when I was at my worst. Like I was like, but it was more than like just being overweight and out of shape. It was like I had no energy. That was the problem. Like
Which was probably contributing to the whole overweight and out of shape
Yeah,
thing.
well, there were times I would try to get in shape. Like I would run on the treadmill for like every day for like weeks at a time and just make no progress. I joined strength and conditioning my sophomore year, which is the hardest gym class. I sweat my butt off
I
every
like
single
that gym
day.
class.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked that it was a good workout, but I made no progress. I'm sure I built some muscle, but I lost absolutely no weight. If anything, I just gained weight because of the muscle. But yeah, it didn't do anything for my endurance and didn't do anything for my, for my weight. It wasn't until I was medicated, like at like 16, I think they just during one of my routine physicals, like yearly doctor's appointments, they checked my thyroid levels and like, hey, yeah, you've got Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Take this pill, should help. And yeah,
it's like, oh, this guy, oh, bad thyroid. Here, just take 2 of these. Call me in the morning, and it's like, oh, well, I'm better now.
Yep, no, it
the
really.
very next day, all of the weight gone.
No, it was a gradual decline, but yeah.
It was a pretty fast decline.
Yeah. Once it started going, it went fast. But yeah, it's like there wasn't a super immediate effect. I started to have more energy, but then yeah, I just started dropping the weight, and then like I all of a sudden had all this energy.
Yeah.
See,
human beings have this thing called a metabolism, which this is the thing that burns off energy and lets you to lose weight. Right now, you have no metabolism, so if you take these pills, it should fix everything.
Yeah, so I'm still on those pills, of course. Now probably will be for the rest of my life, but it's.
Yep, and I have a retainer for the rest of my life.
I mean, I have a retainer as well, but I don't wear it. Probably should.
Well, probably should. That might be a problem in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, what I'd probably do is just get a new retainer made so my teeth don't move anymore. Because yeah, my retainer doesn't fit anymore, so.
Oh, yeah, you're too late. Mine still fits, so obviously my mouth couldn't have moved too much, but I am worried about that. Because, like, I still have wisdom teeth in the back there, but like, one of them you can see, but it's like I didn't want to get them removed just yet, because then it would interfere with my student teaching. And it's like, well, I can't do that right in the middle of student teaching. Maybe I'll just wait until summer.
Yeah, probably smart.
So I'm hoping that it doesn't totally screw up my mouth, but I mean, my retainer still fits, so obviously it must not be screwing up my mouth that much.
If it's not causing you pain, like some people don't even end up having to have their wisdom teeth removed, I don't think. It's really only
I'll probably need them removed. They're like growing into my teeth, but I don't feel it. The problem is that I can't tell. It's like every now and then it gets a little bit irritated, but then it subsides pretty quickly, and then it's just there, and I don't feel anything. But it's like, am I not feeling it because it doesn't hurt or because I can't feel pain?
I don't know.
Because I can't tell.
Yeah, but it's like now I have like other issues too with like I have to wear a night guard now. That's a recent development because I tend to grind my teeth at night. It's an anxiety thing, I think. But yeah, it's like I've been having some problems with my teeth lately, namely like pain, sensitivity, and dentist told me, yeah, it's because you grind your teeth. So now I have to wear a night guard when I sleep. Like literally, I've only been doing that for a couple days now. It sucks, but hopefully I'll get used to it. Can't really wear a night guard and a retainer at the same time. Also, now I have a crown on one of my top teeth, so I don't know how that would compare. I don't know how that would. I don't know how that would be compatible with a retainer either. Because like they told me, like now when I floss, I can't. You know how you normally go like up and down on the tooth when you floss?
Yeah.
I can't do that now because apparently like the force of that could actually over time break the crown off. So now I have to like when I floss that tooth, go in and then like pull the floss all the way through. It's annoying.
Yeah, that sounds annoying.
It's very annoying, and I just am always conscious of this false tooth I have. I mean, it looks completely real, unless you look really close, but it feels ever so slightly different than a real tooth.
I've got a cyanide capsule in one of my teeth. I just can't remember which one. I try to mostly stick to soft foods.
Oh man! All right, well we are.
I'm trying to remember. There was another thing.
Yeah, so we're at the hour and 10-minute mark, but I mean, if you want to keep going.
We're probably gonna have to quit soon then.
If you got
okay, one thing that's weird to think about is it's like if you hadn't seen Mr. Band Kid do that one thing, then that means that you probably wouldn't have become my friend.
I don't know about that. I think when we really became friends is when we got seated next to each other in 6th grade class. I think that would still happen.
You only but at that point were you only willing to talk to me because you knew that I don't know.
Maybe that's an interesting question. That's you're getting into the butterfly effect now, and that's who really knows.
I don't know. I just when I think about all the friends, the all 10 of them that I've had throughout my whole life, well, I mean, I guess it's slightly more than that, but like, it's just like, I don't know. I guess I don't think if you'd asked me back when I was in elementary, like in middle school, when I was like at like peak frienditude, which one of you would be the ones to stick around? I don't think I would have picked you at that time.
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't have guessed that you'd be, my best friend when I was 23. So
yeah.
So that's just a funny way life works.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I guess to answer your question, I think I at that point when I did see Band Kid picking on you. I think I had already started to have some doubts at that point because it just, I mean, if nothing else, just the frequency of these stories. Like I would hear like about, you would be saying something about how he did so and so, and he would have his retort, and it's like, okay, well, it's like, even if he is just misinterpreting things, like how is stuff happening this frequently that there's even like stuff to report, basically. So I think I was starting to already kind of have doubts, and his explanations were starting to get kind of flimsy. So I think finally seeing it happen, was like just the last straw. So I guess if I hadn't seen that happen on that last day of 5th grade, I think that it would have been something else. He was getting sloppy. He wasn't really hiding it from me as well. I would have seen something else happen, and we would have ended up at the same result, I think.
I don't know. It's hard to know because it's like what things could change that still result in the same general outcome. Because if even any one thing was different, then it could have changed the entire course of our lives.
Yeah, it's scary to think about.
And I don't know. It's just sometimes I just think back and it's like it's somewhat weird that like out of everyone that I knew that you were the one that ended up sticking around.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like now I've been to your wedding.
Yeah, you were at my wedding.
And actually.
You what? Oh, both. That sounds bad.
Sorry, no, he's the same person. It was a COVID thing.
We had to have a COVID wedding for a real wedding, so we just got married with like a local park with like, which is funny. Yeah. That local park. The reason we picked that is because that's where it's funny. There's like a specific bench at that park where that's where I asked her out. That's where I proposed to her. And so then we got to have our actual wedding just a few feet away from that bench. So it's kind of fun.
You should have been standing on the bench.
Yeah, I don't know if that would have worked.
Have the priest stand behind you on the hill. COVID thing. He basically had a small wedding that was his family and also me and my dad.
Yeah, it's like all my closest family and then you and your dad were there. So it's like everybody. Yep. So to me, it was a perfect wedding. I was honestly dreading the whole big wedding thing. I don't like crowds. You know that about me. And
I don't like crowds either.
And I don't like all the complication that goes into, planning a wedding either. So to me, that was perfect. I didn't have to wear a tux or anything. I just wore a nice button-up shirt and a pair of jeans, and my wife wore
had a tux,
pretty dress thing. Yeah, you had your tuxedo T-shirt, which is perfect, perfectly on brand for the wedding.
Yep.
Great.
And then
it's like
but then he had a reception where they did a lot more of the ceremonial stuff.
Yeah,
and then more people were able to come to that one.
Yeah, that was basically what
that was like a year.
Yeah, that was when we actually got to do like the actual wedding we had planned for. Because at that time, by the time COVID happened, we had already been in the process of planning a wedding and we'd sent out invites and stuff, and we had the venue reserved and all of that. And so, yeah, the year after, when COVID had calmed down enough that we could at least do an outdoor thing, I think at that point, actually, the mask mandate had even been lifted before they, put it back on. But that's
don't worry, it's gone again.
Yeah, now it is. Hopefully for real this time.
Finally.
Hopefully for real this time.
There's no way. Look, people are sick of it. There's no way they're going to be able to pull it off again. People would not. I don't think people would go for it a second time.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably right, but I don't know. I mean, we still have to do masks in medical settings, but I mean, that's not really anything.
No,
all that
that'll
new.
Stick around. It might stick around in government buildings for a while.
Yeah.
But at this point, I don't think basically nobody wants to anymore. So I feel like it'd be a harder sell this time. They'd have to seriously make up something pretty bad to get people to do it again.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's my perspective.
But that's why I had 2 weddings. I had a COVID wedding for the first one, which was the perfect wedding. It's for me. All the most important people made it, and we got to get married, and that was it. Yeah.
I'm one of the most important people.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, no, you were the...
Friendship wins.
Friendship wins the day. And we're at the hour 15-minute mark, actually, so should we end on that uplifting note?
Wasn't this supposed to be about toys?
At one point.
I feel like we got...
Oh, yeah,
we definitely started there.
Yeah, when we were in elementary school, I used to go over to your house and we'd play HeroScape. There's your teaser for next time.
Yeah, tune in next week when we might actually talk about toys and hopefully not get distracted again.
We'll see. Because, diving back, I guess that just comes with diving into nostalgic topics, is all the memories around those times just kind of come back with it. It's just, yeah. But yeah, HeroScape.
You remember Stretch Screamers?
No, I don't know what those are.
Those weird things.
Stretch screamers? Oh,
They're the rubbery toys that you stretch on them and then they scream.
Yeah, like the monkey one is the one that comes to mind.
I don't know. The one I always think of is the mummy, the scientist with the brain, and the cyborg man.
Well, I'm looking this up now. See,
and then they made Happy Meals toys out of them for a while, and I had some of those.
Okay, maybe I don't know this, because what comes to mind for me is like there was at one point when someone had like here we go, stretch screamers. There was like, it was like a monkey. Yeah, no, this isn't what I was thinking of. But there was this thing where it was like a monkey that like had like elastic arms, and you would like pull him back and fling him like a rubber band.
Oh yeah, no. Because like these ones, they had the Happy Meals toys, and so of course I wanted to get the larger version. My parents wouldn't let me because they thought that the toy was a bit messed up. And it's like, you know, at the time I was like, oh, I can't have the toy. But now it's like, what in the hell is this?
Yeah, that is kind of messed up.
This is like a horrific. What is this toy?
They got one of
you to literally torture it.
They have one of Ghostface, which is like, you know, an R-rated horror movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I mean, what kind of sadistic toy? You stretch on it and it screams, literally. What in the, like who made this?
Oh yeah, that's messed up. All right, well there you go. We talked about toys in the toy episode.
Yeah, whatever.
Stay tuned for the real toy episode next week.
Roll the outro music. Let's just wrap this up.
All right.
I gotta do bedtime anyways. I gotta post a new episode.
Oh yeah.
I gotta do it before I'm too tired to write a witty comic description thing.
All right, well outro music's going.
Good, that's good. Hey everyone.
Which of us does the outro thing?
And usually you. Sometimes I talk over it and then you just kind of wrap it up, but that's not happening today.
Yeah, it used to be you that would do the outro spiel, I think.
And your email address and give us mail. You guys haven't been doing it yet because we still only have 6 subscribers, and we know them all of them by name. So
yeah,
tell us your real jobs and such.
Yeah, someone send us fan mail. Or,
yeah, so we can finally have a letters column segment.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Anyways, hi everybody. It's over.
Wait, did you just say the thing?
The music has to fade out, and you say the thing.
No, you gotta say the thing, and then the music starts fading out.
I did say the thing. It's over.
Bye.